energy is the deviation from the laws of nature of the masculine. Right? So you got balanced masculine energy and erratic masculine energy, which is what we're looking at on the right. Right? Two people.
That's same story. I keep telling people that it's everything is the algorithm. They talking about DNA and neurological upgrades. That's why they had so much damn radiation, solar transmission that was coming to the planet, and everybody was getting headaches. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, pressure in itself makes diamonds. So those solar transmission that's hitting the mind, which is Noah, the arc, a flood of consciousness, is going to activate those apatites, those calcites, and those magnetites, and those dendrites. So, like I said, it's a part of the process, because it's one of those things where the year of 2026, which is the year of the fire horse, is going to be the precursor to the great separation between the lamb and the sheep. Well, I mean, the lamb and the goat. And the reason that is because it's a separation of consciousness, because the consciousness in itself, because, they even talk about in the CIA documents, the conscious energy grid. The conscious energy grid is going to manipulate, the electrical grid in itself.
Also, what we call in the 100 monkey effect, right? And then it's called, as we move into the new full swing of the new era, that's the event horizon. Going through the black hole, then you had a point of no return. You can't go back now. You're too far into this game. Right? Now remember, we caught between political satire and Hollywood theater. DC and Hollywood, political satire is fake. The political satire is a play called Plato's Republic, recycled over and over from different types of political applications, from communism to socialism, and none of them don't work. They're not designed to work longer than like 250 years. That's why you keep seeing every 250 years the world powers change.
Yeah, I'm going to show you something. I'm glad you brought that up. I got to bring the slides back up. I'm glad you brought that up, because it show. I've been seeing that number 250 a lot. I've been seeing that a lot, and I made some slides for that. All right. Hey, they said I don't look like you. My bad if I don't look like you. I tried my best.
It's close enough.
I try to do what I could.
That's how AI see me.
Okay. Yeah. All right, where's that 250 at? So they talk about it right here. It's got the birthday cake around it. Because, like I said, it tells a timeline. It's a story.
Well, the 1776 contract was a 200-year contract. But remember, 1812 gave them an extension to 2012. Right now, after 2012 is where the work starts to transition to the new government. So a couple things that they had to do that they did. They had to recognize that 400-year Bible contract, that's the white man's burden. What they call the law of discovery. The doctrine of discovery, the white man's burden. So they did the 400-year recognition in the Senate, the satire. Or Congress, whatever the hell, one of them, Washington, D.C., they passed a vote to recognize the 400-year captivity. Then they did a ceremony. Trump had the Bible upside down in front of a boarded up church. And Nancy Pelosi tore the Bible on the Senate floor, tore it in half, right, on the same day. Republicans and Democrats. So when they did that, that was the end of the Bible contract that was the sacrifice of the first blood of the righteous. Now, they also passed before they passed the UNDRA on the United Nations floor, and then they passed the United States Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, which says pretty much the same thing in 2014, I think it was. Right? Then we had the ceremony to stake a totem pole in D.C. to reclaim the land from the salvage authority. The salvage authority was the Crown of England.
That's a fact.
Okay, now, once we did that, we reclaimed that 10 square miles as part of tribal territory. According to the Indigenous Rights Act of the United States and the United Nations, the indigenous people have a right to govern all indigenous land. Show me some that ain't.
Exactly.
So now they didn't recognize us, but it's only one way to secure recognition: oral tradition. Both documents talk about the oral tradition. And it's not a coincidence that the one is in the 13th chapter of the UNDRIP and the other one is in the 31st chapter of the UNDRIP. And then it's in something similar in the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People. Right? 13 is the Queen Mother Seal. 31 is the mirror flip. So on both sides.
Damn, I'm glad you brought that up because somebody in the chat, they said that July 4th of 2026 is 250 years. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So it was supposed to end, the contract was supposed to end it in 1976 at the bicentennial celebration. Because of the War 1812 and they got an extension. This is why in the Fall of America, Elijah Muhammad said the devil got an extension. Nobody know what he was talking about. How the hell did the devil get an extension? Because we took their ass back to war. They telling us that the War 1812 was something other than an indigenous uprising. That's not. It was exactly an indigenous uprising. We rose up and decided to take the land back and broke the treaty. So it reset the treaty. Started them all over for 200 years. And this is why you had Martin Luther King doing nonviolent protests. The protest was not to overthrow the government, undermine the government. It was to wake the people up to the fact that we don't need the government.
Facts.
They're not here for us. They have nothing to do with us and they don't care about us.
So you want to get into some questions from the chat?
Let's go.
Yeah. I'm gonna put up some questions for you because I don't want to, overextend your time. I would like to be respectful of other people's time. Yeah.
But me and you can overload people with information and they leave.
Hit ride, what I'm saying, with some questions, I'm saying, something, that's basically corresponding with the timeline that's taking place right now. So we're going to get into, let me see, we got some super chats. All right.
Somebody asked about the government buyback program for the old money.
Oh.
The banks have to collapse first.
Hold on, let me fix your cash app real quick. Yeah. There we go. So everybody, in the chat, show, the master teacher, show him some veneration.
Master tutor.
I heard that.
Now they got a master teacher. Ain't nobody put out that much information.
Yeah, but you don't want on the land right now. That's why I said you gotta be on. We gotta be on some book.
As long as we breathing, can't nobody hold the title master teacher.
You said what?
As long as he breathing, can't nobody hold his title. He own that shit.
Yeah, we gotta.
I'm cool with being a tutor.
Okay.
Because all I'm doing is just rehashing what all of the teachers before me taught. Pointing out hey, did y'all notice this part of it? Let me show you what it means. Right? So that's all we doing. Tutoring the public on what we already learned.
Yeah, but you add more pieces to the puzzle, though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like it's more updated information because a lot of people don't even understand what's going on right now.
That's for the foundation that the ones before us laid.
Oh, yeah. Salute the new diamonds in the chat.
Thank you, baby.
Okay, so this is what it says from Cool and So 88. If they broke the treaty, why would we go back to honoring the treaty?
That's the only treaty that they ever said we broke.
Mm-hmm.
All the ones they broke, we still honored them, trying to get out of the 200-year oppression. There was a ceasefire, but they still was using cheat codes like assassinations and murder. They weren't supposed to do that. And we weren't supposed to do it to them. We were supposed to educate ourselves above the condition. If once you educate yourself above the condition can no longer hold you captive. And there was only a handful of us in the last, since Noble Drew Ali, that was really lifting the consciousness that wasn't in it for selfish gain. Everybody that was in it for selfish gain set us back. There was too many greedy SOBs in the game for us to really get somebody who didn't care to sell us out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like your money don't mean nothing to me when I know that the value of my birthright is way greater than any money you can offer me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care about your money. I appreciate, people who send their donations and everything, but I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this to unlock our birthright. And only by following the oral tradition that agrees to the tribes, putting the information in the public domain so that as many tribes people as possible can access the information and utilize the information to wake each other up. Right? Then we're doing our part. There's so many people that they do stuff for money.
Mm-hmm.
So money is their motivator.
Mm-hmm.
And when money is your motivator, you can be bought.
Mm-hmm.
But when love is your motivator, it ain't enough money to buy the real love. You can only buy fake love with money.
That's a fact.
And that have a life limit to it. Ask any divorced athlete, NFL, NBA, buying love, it's got a lifespan. When you buy love, it can only last for so long before it fall apart naturally because it's not true.
Shit, and that's why in 2025, the vast majority of relationships, they only last for 30 damn minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's built on, material order. That's why I keep telling people, man, if you don't have a mental connection, because the mental connection in itself, that's how you combat the negative forces right there. Neo, he wasn't able to escape the matrix until he had a divine feminine energy on his team. So it has to be a balance of energies. So that's why I keep telling people, man, like, that's the only way, to beat the system in itself is, going through.
You got a kicker since you brought Neo and Trinity up. She a female. They named her Trinity. But they named Neo, which is an anagram for one, an anagram for eon, the age. So in order for a Trinity to be Trinity, she got to be the rightful heir.
Right.
And now, what does she have to do in order to get her throne? She have to find her champion.
Mm-hmm.
So Big Mama got to find her son that's doing the work, that got all of the skills. Nobody's using them. He just sitting on the bench. She going to drive him to her team and he going to start in the game. When you go in there and you tell him what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So Morpheus, which is the dual name, Morpheus is the god of dreams. Orpheus is the god of dreams. Morpheus is the god of transformation. Morpheus is Orpheus with an M on the front. Orpheus can't be Morpheus without Mama because he can't get the M.
That's a fact.
So he can't go from Orpheus the dreamer to Morpheus the mystic without Mama saying, "Okay, baby, it's your turn. Get out there and do your thing." Then he go from Orpheus to Morpheus.
Because the M is actually a 3, but it also represents Trinity.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a 3 on his side. But the 3 is the M on his side, actually.
Yeah. So
because the M has always been the symbol for the mother, which is also the Masonic symbol of the apron. And we know that men don't wear aprons.
That's a fact. And you know what's crazy?
We know, All these cross-dressing priests.
Man. And you know what's crazy though? I'm glad you brought up that 3 because at 3 it corresponds with the mind in itself, which is connected to the neocortex. So that you know what I'm saying? Like they throw all them damn symbols in that movie for a reason.
Well, you know you got 3 parts to the brain. You got the reptilian brain, the old mammal brain, and the new mammal brain.
Yep.
The new mammal brain is called what? The neocortex.
Yep.
The new cortex. And neo is the one.
So that means you have to master your animalistic self.
Sako Mao, your monkey man.
Hey, you know what's crazy? What if you was looking if the movie Matrix had an equation, it would actually be the pi equation, wouldn't it? 3.14 because 3 Trinity, 1 represents the life force that you have to resurrect it in order to tap into those what they call the Ark of the Covenant, the pituitary, hypothalamus, pineal gland, tachyon energy, and then the 4 represents that balance, that foundation. So, like I said, like all of it, you know, pretty much corresponds, but people just got to look at the numerical sequence and how it lines up with prophecy.
And to tie into what you just said, the 3.14 being pi, which is the man standing on his post, you can see the perimeters of the circle, right?
Okay.
And the 3 sisters flip, because the point means flip, 1 man in order to make a 4-corner shuffle. That's so the genetic equation is 3x flip 1y to 4 x's. Somebody discovered an unknown variable. So the 4 represents the 4-corner shuffle, which is the genetic shuffle, the moving around of the DNA on the 4 corners of the X chromosome. The Y chromosome will fit in any one of them as an unknown variable until it's been activated as an X-Man.
And you know what's crazy? I'm glad you brought that up because that 4-corner shuffle can also correspond with the fire horse, which is the great purification symbol, which you're talking about the red horsemen, because the 4 horsemen is a representation of the 4 basic elements, which corresponds with the 1. The 1 actually is a representation of the quintessence that collaborates with those 4 basic elements. So that's when you get the what we call the Christ energy. So I'm actually breaking it down, the numerical sequence of pi backwards, because it actually tells you the whole story. The 4 horsemen, the 1 that reaches the Trinity principle within the Christ energy within yourself, which is a form of mind science technology.
Okay, now let's take it to the streets and how it applies to the tribes.
Okay.
The 4 represents the Vice Lord Nation, whose original colors was black and gold. But when they alliance under the 5, they also wear red. Right? So it's the unification of the Peace Stone Nation and the Vice Lord Nation that comes across as the 4-corner shuffle or the 4-corner hustle.
Yeah.
Then you have the 4 horses of the apocalypse you brought up. Right? Which also is a whole other thing, because it started off with the white horse being where? You remember about 5 years ago where the white horse was at? In photographs?
Beyonce.
Nope, not Beyonce. You remember Lauren London and Nipsey Hussle?
Yep.
Where did the white horse end up at? They just gave it to the Pope.
Wow, okay.
Okay, now, everybody keep calling the white horse the pale horse, and they're not the same horse.
Exactly.
The pale horse carries death. But the one on the white horse, went about conquering and to conquer, and was given to power to conquer. Right? And then what did the black horse came with? The scales in one hand and the food in the other hand, the wheats away. Right? So it's balance on one hand to feed the people on the other hand. Now the black horse comes back again at the end. It's only one of them that comes back at the end. Because while the other three horses, the red horse was given the power to start war and to wage war. That's Angel Bay, who just so happened to be in the hospital right now. Everybody's saying positive energy. Chief Malik Angel Bay, Jeff Ford, who passed out at ADX and they rushed him to the hospital. We don't know anything about his condition. We're waiting to hear from either the Bureau of Prisons or his family to give us any updates. So we don't have no updates on him. And we're concerned because he ain't supposed to even be there.
Mm-hmm.
Political prisoner. He was the red horse.
Mm.
The blue horse, Lucifer, is not in the book. The question is why?
Yeah, why is that? Why is that? What's the word on that?
And so that means that the blue horse is something that came about after the Bible concepts was developed.
Mm-hmm.
So it came about as a different concept. The blue horse, if you got a red horse, the blue horse is going to automatically be next to it. Mm-hmm. That's Big Tookie, the blue horse, right? But the blue horse was put on ice. They froze Big Tookie in Area 51, mm-hmm. right? So this is where the color blue, ice, Cricket Man walking lightning, the Shocker, Wes Craven.
The 80s movie Shocker. My dad had me watching that shit. Man, my dad had me watching some crazy movies, bro.
Yeah. So the Shocker is, Big Tookie is the Shocker because everybody presumed that the government put him to death.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he becomes the Shocker.